I am reviewing a software engineer resume. What are the keywords and qualifications? I have to figure out what kind of software engineer they are first. Is it front end? Is it back end? Is it side end? I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully y'all like these kind of videos. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Algorithm is a brutal beast that I truly don't understand, but I do understand software engineering. Resumes. Couldn't code worth anything myself. So they have applied to 75 to 1, which isn't enough of a sample size, especially because it's probably done during December, which was this was submitted at the very beginning of the year, and December's so weird in recruiting. It's up is down and down is left, and left is potatoes. So what we're going to be looking for primarily with this is to find out what kind of software engineer they are. Let's see. So this is too long. All right, so maybe they're looking for an internship. So here's partly my problem with this is internship resumes have to be fundamentally different than actual full-time position resumes, especially for bachelor's-like stuff. They will, what you need on one is not what you need on the other, weirdly enough. So I'm going to judge it based on if you're getting your first full-time job that is not an internship, because after just looking at this real quick, it seems like you're fine getting internships. So first I'm going to try to find out what kind you are. Software engineer. So implemented in NoSQL. These are keywords, but they don't need to be bolded. Node.js, so you're either full stack or front end. Collaborate with the Git, UI, UX. Okay, so React, Material, HTML. All right, so please don't bold these. Stop bolding these. These are the right words, but we will find them. Let's see, HTML, CSS. Okay, so this is probably front end, which I think I have a copy of saved. Do I have? So if this is a front end position, let me see what we are going to be looking for here, which is going to be this stuff right here. So I do see JS, which does work. I see a SQL. Any SQL is fine, truthfully. I see Git, which is it? It looks like you're pretty solid on the keywords. UI, UX can be one. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, these are well written. I think you stand a very good chance. Engineer, PHP, Git, CI/CD, which is correct. Docker and Kubernetes, scalable, full stack code. Yeah, I actually think this is relatively good. I'm not the biggest fan of bolding, but this might be the one resume that actually got most of it right. Well, kind of, because MongoDB is important. I've seen it in a lot of places, but I don't know if you need to bold it, and it kind of makes it harder to read what you need because there's so much bolding. So I think you do have an accurate grasp of what you should bold, which, good job, but there's too much of it. And when there's too much bolding, it makes it meaningless, because now I'm going to miss the UI UX. Now I'm going to miss the full stack. Now I'm going to miss maybe this PHP, and then I'm going to miss API. So don't bold it. I think this resume would be better if it wasn't bolded, but otherwise I actually think for a front end position, solid and almost full stack. I'd be missing the primary language for full stack along with TypeScript, but overall you're right. I think you just need to stop the bolding and make this one line. I mean, you could do this in one line, right? Maybe keep this, but I don't even know. But yeah, you should be able to do this in one line, keep your GPA. Otherwise, yeah, I think this is a mostly good resume for getting your first software engineer full-time position. Not a ton of notes otherwise. I think that's a very good job. So you've definitely got the right idea. I will say, if you are looking for full-time jobs once you graduate, they may not really start hiring you until like a month before you're planning on graduating, because typically if you can't start within a month and a half, then they're not going to be able to move you forward. But still, very good job on this. Minor quibbles of just no bolding, make this 2 lines, and if you are going for full stack rather than front end, maybe add a little bit more of like Java, like TypeScript or something, and maybe Python if you have it, but or the other primary language, which maybe is PHP, I don't know. But otherwise, solid. I really like most of this, so I can definitely see people moving forward with this one. Let's move on to the next one. Resume is of another software engineer, which may have the best response rate. If this is accurate, they have applied to 10 jobs and gotten 7 interviews. If that is 10 jobs and 7 first stage interviews, you have the best ratio I think I may have ever seen. So I'm expecting this to be phenomenal. Senior software engineer, developer productivity, CRM. All right, this is fine. You have that clear. See, integrated students pipeline to a Java system. There we go. Docker, Java, Docker, perfect. See, I don't know this. 80 degrees of monopro. Oh my gosh. Here's why. Salesforce supporting 3,500 developers and powering flagship. That's solid. I understand what that is. Dockerize, CI, okay. Lead, integration of Bezel. Maven can be one. You know, this is not one I know if I would maybe move forward on this because I can understand the keywords on this, and I do wonder if that is 10 to 7, but there is no one way to write a resume. So trying to see about this, but I guess if somebody really needs a Java engineer, but I've seen other resumes that are very similar to this not get the position, but I'm trying to see what is special about this in particular. My guess is that it's probably related to Salesforce or something that is very niche. This is a solid, like, brag, because that's understandable. They do have Java, or maybe YAML. Something about this is it may be actually outside my domain of knowledge, which I will be fully happy to admit. But I'm starting to think that this resume is good because it's very niche, and this is not just a standard software engineer resume. And I can't really judge something unless I've looked at the keywords for it. And since this is senior 2000 which you've had Redis, Java, Pasteup, Postgres. Okay, so here's stuff that I could see why you'd be moving forward as well. So GitHub, yeah, Terraform. Yeah, this might be beyond me, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is something that maybe those are very niche, and I'd probably look up more after this interview. Specifically the YAML part, because that is everywhere here, and it may be a new thing that I'm missing that I need to go. So I don't know. For the roles I've had, this wouldn't have worked, but this is something where if the manager really wanted something like Salesforce based and Java, I could see you moving forward because you have it right here. I personally don't think the bolding, but look, there's more ways to, as they say, skin a cat, which is a horrible saying now that I'm saying it out loud. Oh my gosh, I don't like that. There's more than one way to do things, and my way is not my way is not one size fits all. It's just one size fits most, and this may be for the very niche you are in your software engineering thing, that this is the best way for it. I do think that your actual formatting is clean. I'm not a fan of the bolding, but whatever. If it's working, don't change it. No one has full knowledge of everything. So please, in the comments, let me know. I'm very interested to know about this. Maybe there is a more specialized software engineering thing that I am not aware of that is causing you to get this much, and I'd very much like to know. So yeah, probably outside my domain, so I don't know if I can really give a good one, but it doesn't seem like a normal software engineer. So I'm sure I'm gonna get flamed for it, but that's okay. That's how you learn. So let's move on to the next one. This resume is I'll be honest, I'm not even entirely sure. They said IT tech team lead MSP raise, and I tried finding that stuff and I couldn't. So the best thing I could do was try for an IT manager. I don't even know if that's right. I hope that is, because I wasn't like, if you send your resume to me, please make sure that I can easily find it by just typing in the title of that in LinkedIn or Indeed. I'm assuming maybe this is a tech lead on MSP, but yeah, so I just moved it to IT manager. I hope that's correct. But what we're going to be looking for as a manager is previous management experience, like 365 Microsoft, that was in a couple. Entra, Intune was in a couple. But more importantly is we're going to know how you proposed a solution, how you solved it, what you did with management. Did you hire? Did you fire? And then I want to know also the previous type of IT you did. Is it more along the lines of like installing stuff like SQL, or was it creating AI or strategies? So there's a lot of different types of management positions or even lead positions. So yeah, let's go with that. That's the best I could really find with this. So this formatting isn't great. Okay, I do see Tune, which may have been one. This isn't gonna see. This is, I think, the Indeed template, which is normally ish okay, and it looks like you've been here for a while, which is solid. But IT manager of a 100-seat client. What do you mean by that? Implemented SolarWinds Enable. Like, I am going to right now maybe check to see. Like, hold on. I'm going to put this so I can really quickly check to see if I'm desperately missing this for RRM Manager. RRM Manager. There are... Nope, that is also not working. That is going to recruiting stuff for me. So, let's... Yeah, I don't know what this is. And you're not explaining what it is. And none of these were working, and you also didn't apply to any applications or get any responses back, which means I don't even know if it's a me issue or not, because if you were applying to 100 jobs and you got 70 responses back, then your resume would be fine, and it's me who's the problem. But I don't know. I don't see how you used your leadership. I don't know anything about this resume. This resume confuses me on every level. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but the bullet points don't make any sense. The formatting is all over the place, and I don't know how to help this. Like, you just need to completely burn your resume and redo it. Like, how I want it to be done, to be clear, because maybe it's just you don't know how, that's fine. In the description below this video, there is a link to my website. Go use that template form. Your very first bullet point should be an overall summary of your duties. Just a very basic, very quick, like, managed X, Y, and Z, where I did X, Y, and Z, da-da-da-da. And then everything else needs to be basically a bullet point about a keyword or qualification where you tell what you did, how you did it, and why you did it. But this, I don't know. I don't know what any of this is. This is... yeah, I don't know what any of this is. Because I even really quickly looked at RRM, and I don't know. So I want to be wrong on this one, just be like, oh, Lee missed something, and it's not his domain. But I don't see this getting any interviews. So please make those changes, because I think a good resume is, even if I am wrong, even if I've never heard of it, I at least know what you do, and I don't know what the hell you do at all. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move to the next resume. I just don't know what to do with this one. This is the final video of the series, and hopefully this one's been a crazy ride. There's been a lot of crazy resumes in this one that I will hopefully learn a lot from the comments on. But this is a full stack developer, which I know pretty much. Those things I do know. So what we're going to be looking for is the below, and they have applied to 80 positions and gotten 0 back, which is not good. But again, you know, it's December-ish when they probably applied, and December is kind of weird. So what we're going to be looking for is TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, any type of SQL. React API, REST, Cloud, Agile, any type of cloud, by the way, CI/CD, and if you have an extra language, it is a bonus. Typically, it's going to be Python, but not always. That's why I have that as a bonus. The TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML are usually the ones that are going to be looking for. So, integrated SAML-based SSO integration with Azure Entra ID. Cool. I like that you have Azure, which is cloud. But the rest of that I don't like. So I really in your first one, you should really have used TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML to do blank in a Azure environment or whatever. Wrote SQL queries to mitigate to database SQL. This is fine. It says SQL. That's one of them. Created reusable components with Angular and wrote automated test cases with Mota. This is okay. Redesign CI/CD, front end, back end, REST APIs is fine. Python, Django, REST API is good. So Socket, React, yeah. Again, you're pretty much missing this right here, which I hope is visible. Is you're missing the TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, and that's probably going to be very bad if this is full stack, because that is what a lot of them are going to be looking for. Now, in addition, it does look like you moved from India to Vancouver. So if you are, I don't know anything about Canada's like visa process. I assume you're going to be on a visa. I have no idea what that is, but at least in the United States, when you are needing a visa, you're going to have to like double the amount you need to apply to. And I do see React, REST, API is good, CI/CD is good, but you don't actually have this stuff. This is important. All right, I know it's basic, I know it's dumb, but this stuff gets people jobs. I'm also missing, I know this is cloud. There is a possibility that if the recruitment team is working in maybe GCP or AWS, they may not know that Azure Entra ID is cloud. Or I may be wrong and Azure Entra ID is not cloud, in which case you are missing cloud. So, but the SQL is fine. CI/CD is fine. You just really need the basics, which is TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and probably more cloud regardless. It's good to have a bunch of cloud on there. People like that. That way it'll increase your chances, because if you are, again, an international person trying to find a job at your first one, it's gonna be hard, at least in the United States. I don't know Canada's market. So this I could maybe move forward with this. I don't know, but I think if this was again 2018 or even 2021, maybe move forward with this. But right now in 2025, I don't think I could. It's just your competition is very steep, but I don't think you need to change a ton. So you just need to make it a little more legible. This should be bolded, this should not be bolded, and it should be one line. In addition, your education absolutely needs to be up here if you just graduated. So, and this, why not up top? It should be your education and then this. This is important. I didn't even see this. There's a chance a recruiter may not find this. This is great. Put this up top. This doesn't matter. But this is amazing. This should be switched right here. Also, this should be in 2 lines max. So I could maybe move forward with this. Recruiters may miss that AWS at the very bottom. So put that up top. That's a good thing to have. So that is the end of this video. And I will look forward to seeing you all in the next one.